Hello everybody and welcome again to another of our Kings Highway Historic Site sign videos. This is a video that we're doing one for each of our locations along the Kings Highway Historic Site in eastern Prince William County, close to US 1, what used to be called the Kings Highway, which was a route the British government constructed in the 1700s from Boston down through the East Coast colonies, connecting all the colonial capitals and as many local capitals as they could, basically to speed communications and mail without the danger of a ship sinking in the Atlantic coast, then making sure the news didn't reach people. Most of those followed Native American paths and other routes, old routes, and then built a newer highway on top of them. That was then improved and increased until it became modern day US 1. So here at this site, we are at the National Museum of the Marine Corps here, where we have two sites that talk about two different stories of life along the Kings Highway. One of them right here beside me talks about the communities alongside the roadway and that depended on it for their livelihood. To our west were mostly in the 1700s farms and open countryside. And to the east, the river and a few more farms, plantations, and eventually the developing community of Quantico. North of us is Dumfries, and south we get into Stafford County. So this really was an intersection of multiple small farm roads that came together and joined the main road that could then take their produce and tobacco and everything else to market, and then out onto ships and out to larger markets beyond that. So it played a very important role in the daily life of people. It was a place that you could transport goods via wagon, or in many cases, rolling roads, which were roads designed to roll the large hogsheads, great big barrels of tobacco by horse or by human labor down to the river for loading onto ships. So this area saw a lot of traffic, a lot of travel. You can probably hear a little bit of Interstate 95 behind me as I talk. So it still does today. In addition, part of the original Kings Highway does run along through the playground area up along the parking lot towards the Marine Corps Museum itself. Now that route saw a lot of traffic over the years, and that includes the return of the French army after the victorious siege and battle at Yorktown in 1781. While a large portion of the American army returned north to the New York area to invest the British army, besiege them there, and continue the fighting for another 2 years. A large chunk of the French army spent the winter in Yorktown and southern Virginia, mainly because the war had been very harsh on the available supplies and the people in the Northeast. So the decision was the French army would spend much of the winter in the South and then would return north again to fight in the campaigns in the coming spring. So the summertime and the early summer, they returned north from their camps. It was a very hot summer. It was, even for the veteran troops who'd served in the Caribbean and the Americas and France for years, it was considered particularly harsh. Oftentimes they started marching very early in the morning and they would finish about middle morning before noon to avoid the worst of the sun and heat for the day. Then camp, eat, and then get up again very early and do that again the next day. So in this area, they marched through coming from Stafford, camped just outside the town of Dumfries on the banks of Quantico Creek, packed up the next day, marched north, marched out of the county into Fairfax and continued their route. But these victorious troops would have been an amazing sight to Prince William County residents in their uniforms, carrying their equipment, supplies, and everything. Artillery, horsemen, infantry would have been one of the biggest sights they had seen of how much power was arrayed on the side of America in our fight for independence. And in just a few years from that point, just a year from that point, the war would conclude and we would be separate from Great Britain for all time to come. So if you enjoyed this video, check out the description below. There'll be a link that'll take you to our website and tell you a little more about the 11 different stops and signs associated with the Kings Highway in eastern Prince William. And there will also be some other videos on this channel you can check out if you'd like to learn more about those stops. But if you enjoyed this video, give us a like, subscribe for more content. We do videos fairly regularly, and check out another one. Take care.